From your point of view, what are the biggest economic challenges in today's fragmented world? And where do you see positive trends and opportunities, especially in regard to the Indo-Pacific region?
There's a list of things that make close international collaboration on economic issues more difficult, but also imperative. Rising nationalism and protectionism, trade tensions and, in the case of Russia's war of aggression against the Ukraine, outright violence, make close international collaboration on economic issues more difficult, yet at the same time more necessary than ever. These difficulties impact on core topics of international cooperation like setting trade rules or tackling climate change. Besides geopolitical tensions, other recent events like the pandemic have exposed the fragility of global supply chains. Over-reliance on certain regions or countries can create bottlenecks and dependencies. On top of all that, we are already being directly confronted by the economic costs of man-made climate change, including extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and mass displacement, and these will only increase. Addressing them will require significant mitigation efforts and adapting strategies. However, there are also positive trends and opportunities, first and foremost in the Indo-Pacific region. This greater region is at the center of current geopolitics. It is the most densely populated, fastest growing and most diverse region in the world. Moreover, South and Southeast Asia is a giant hotspot for technological innovation, particularly in areas like artificial intelligence, e-commerce, and renewable energies. It is there where economic growth is driven vigorously and living standards improve steadily. The ability to navigate geopolitical difficulties, embrace technological innovation, and address inequality will be key factors in determining the region's long-term economic success. This is why regional economic cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region, therefore, and despite global fragmentation, continues to increase. Initiatives like the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership promote trade and investment in the region.
Well, the biggest opportunities for a stronger collaboration with the Indo- or Asia-Pacific region lie in the biggest global challenges happening at the same time. Demographic change, an unbroken trend of urbanization, aging societies, missing resilience in our supply chains, made brutally transparent during COVID times, and above all, climate change. They affect all of us. No country, no company will be able to solve these challenges alone. We need to collaborate to solve them. I know that our partners in the Indo-Pacific region share this view. Great starting point for enhancing our cooperation. Over the last decades, technology brought us where our societies stand today. And technology will be the answer to our future challenges. In particular, digital technologies will play a very important role. German companies, be it the large corporations, be it the strong German SMEs, the so-called German Mittelstand, stand for high-tech innovations. German technologies cover a broad range of industries, from automotive over chemicals, pharmaceuticals, the whole energy sector, medtech, or the broad range of machine building, machine tools. Together with our partners and customers in the Indo-Pacific region, we can scale technologies faster and more efficiently to contribute to the region's high growth and making the growth more sustainable at the same time. On this basis, we want to use this year's APK to further intensify our collaboration.
What is the federal government's approach to de-risking, and which instruments have been developed to support companies in their efforts to de-risk and diversify?
The German federal government's de-risking approach aims to create a supportive environment for businesses to operate internationally and pursue innovative approaches. De-risking does not mean decoupling, it is rather the opposite. Where decoupling takes something away, de-risking leads to diversification and adds something, namely new markets, new partners, more trade and finally more security and more wealth. By offering financial guarantees, providing information and advice, and promoting a stable business environment, we set incentives to de-risk and diversify economic activities, to mitigate strategic challenges, and to encourage economic growth. One example: to increase incentives for greater diversification of German foreign investments, the German government has implemented preferential terms for investment guarantees for German companies in many countries in the Indo-Pacific. We also integrate sustainability considerations into our de-risking strategies. This ensures that projects which the federal government supports are consistent with international agreed environmental and social standards.
How do companies deal with the current geopolitical situation, and how do they de-risk their portfolios?
We don't see an end of globalization. In contrast, the need to diversify global supply chains will end up in an even more globalized world. We will see a more distributed manufacturing landscape, creating local jobs, but also challenges to produce with smaller lot sizes at competitive cost. The other dimension is finding new markets for our technologies. This is usually harder and takes longer than relocating manufacturing lines. But it will be necessary for German companies to maintain their growth. This requires to engage with our local partners in the Indo-Pacific region, building new relationships, intensifying the dialogue, and seek for political support on both ends. The APK in Delhi later this year is a perfect place to engage with our local partners, customers, and politicians.
How do the federal government's initiatives and the EU's trade strategy promote cooperation with the Indo-Pacific region?
The EU and the Indo-Pacific region are strong advocates for a stable, predictable, and enforceable multilateral trading system with the WTO at its core. Both regions rely on open markets, free trade, a global level playing field, and overarching respect for the rules-based international order as a whole. By working together, we create a more attractive and stable economic environment for cooperation. This approach fosters trade investment, technological exchange, and collaboration on shared challenges like climate change and development. The EU pursues an ambitious bilateral trade policy with the Indo-Pacific region. Recently, FTAs have been concluded with Singapore, Vietnam, and New Zealand. All these agreements eliminate trade barriers and make it easier for European and Indo-Pacific businesses to trade. And we want to swiftly finalize ongoing negotiations with other partners like, for example, India, Indonesia, Thailand, and the Philippines. Germany recognizes the importance of and commends technological innovation in the Indo-Pacific. We have therefore developed initiatives to promote research and development partnerships. The same holds true for our outreach to the Indo-Pacific when it comes to the further harmonization and integration of standards and regulations.
What are the top opportunities for cooperation between companies from India and Germany?
First of all, India is the software center of the world. And it has evolved over the last years. Coming from a low-cost software offshoring place, it developed into an exciting ecosystem for digital innovation and is home to some of the world's leading unicorns. Second, India is updating all its infrastructures to make them more efficient and more sustainable. Energy, transportation, healthcare, communication. In all these sectors, the country is looking for innovative technologies that help it to serve its people better and to support a growing economy. And finally, India is also looking to upgrade and digitize its manufacturing sector. The country has 60 million SMEs, many of whom are looking for partners to make their production more flexible, more agile, and more efficient. Germany is a world leader in this area. Therefore, cooperation between our countries and businesses can lead to a win-win situation for both. And our technologies are just what Indian companies need. To facilitate and accelerate our partnerships, we need pragmatic free trade agreements between Europe and Asia-Pacific countries now.
What role does the Indo-Pacific region play in Germany's diversification efforts?
Political and economic uncertainties have led us to diversify our partnerships and reduce our dependence on individual markets. The Indo-Pacific is a crucial pillar in Germany's diversification strategy. The region boasts some of the world's fastest growing economies. It is rich in natural resources and a hub for technological innovation. Germany can secure access to important resources, collaborate on cutting-edge technologies, and strengthen its own industrial base through cooperation between companies.
Why attend the Asia-Pacific Conference of German Business in India in 2024?
Because there has never been a better time to do business in the region. We share the same ambitions, and we believe in the power of collaboration to achieve growth, sustainable growth for our economies. During the Asia-Pacific Conference in India this October, we will bring business, technology leaders, and politicians together to discuss specific opportunities and lay down our growth plan for the next years. Robert Habeck and I are looking forward to exchange on these topics.